Coming up, a massive growing pain in the right up at Tomaree, and also up in the Hunter. Also, Zach Hoskins played comeback to the Newcastle Knights. That's coming up next, right here on NBN News.
The old foes are at it again. Can the men in black turn around their World Cup defeat? Australia tackled New Zealand tonight on NBN.
Good afternoon, my name's Conklin McLeod with NBN's Saturday News. This afternoon, a growing pain as an unprecedented population growth to the Hunter means the region needs will likely exceed its housing targets. The Tomaree headline Heritage Group to put their heads together, and Zach Hoskins played comeback to the Newcastle Knights. But first though, there's unprecedented population growth in the Hunter, and that means the region's needs will likely exceed its housing targets, sparking a call for greater residential investment to come up with demand. The Property Council of Australia and Guide Consulting have released a new regional New South Wales housing analysis report looking to residential needing and trends, and it means that the reason that projection did not anticipate the recent and potentially ongoing substantial population growth in Greater Newcastle, already placing pressure on the existing supply and delivery of housing. The population growth rate across the Greater Hunter has increased from 0.8% in 2014 to 1.2% in 2020, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics data. Maitland is leading the way at 2.63%, followed by Cessnock at 2%, then Port Stephens at 1.19%, Newcastle at 1.04%, and the largest council area, Lake Macquarie, at 0.64%. The Tomaree headline Heritage Group is looking to transform the iconic Shoal Bay site into an educational and tourism precinct. Peter Clough, Nigel Duig, and Jeff Washington have dreams of it, including a marine research centre, museum, and interpretive centre showcasing its research World War II military history, visitor information centre, and perhaps a restaurant, cafe with oyster tasting tours on the site. Waiting at the the bus stop for school service that should have already arrived, 11-year-old Lucas Stokes made a reassuring promise to two younger and worried students that he told them that he was not going to leave them, that they would either go with him if he got a ride to school or he would stay with them, said his mum, Jackie Stokes, who was at work when he told her at about 9:05 yesterday that the bus hadn't arrived 24 hours after it was due. A group of Hunter firefighters have been recognised for courage in their response to a devastating house fire at Singleton that claimed the lives of 3 children in 2019. 3 on-call firefighters who arrived on the scene of the blaze at Brickleaf Close in the early hours of June 26 found the body of 11-year-old Blake Arkins as they pulled his 5-year-old twin sisters, Matilda and Scar, left from the burning home. The girls lost their lives soon after. The children's mum, Cara, and their 8-year-old sister escaped the blaze. The convicted killer, who held up 2 Lake Macquarie stores, including using an axe to terrify staff at a Toronto supermarket as part of a 20-day crime spree in 2020, has been jailed for a maximum of 9.5 years. Gary Anthony Markham, who is now 37, was in March found guilty of armed robbery after a trial in Newcastle District Court. A jury left with no doubt he was the man who threatened staff and raided cabinets at Maya at the Charlestown Square on August the 16th, and then 6 days later terrorised staff at a Toronto Woolworths with an axe. Also, for his role in the killing, Markham was jailed for a maximum of 6 years with a non-parole period of 3 years and was given a discount because he showed genuine remorse and assisted police because he felt guilty about his involvement. Still in the courts, and a man has been arrested outside Newcastle allegedly carrying 11 kilograms of cocaine as part of a South American organised crime effort to smuggle drugs into and distribute them throughout Australia. The Australian Federal Police have charged 9 people across New South Wales, Queensland and the Northern Territory dismantling the Colombian operation they say was capable of putting hundreds of kilograms of cocaine on the streets. Sports coming up after the break as the Knights secure a win in the Jersey Flag Cup over the St George Illawarra Dragons, but lose over the Sydney Roosters in controversial circumstances.
We want to see your dreams come true. And the reason that we're here today is just because of you. This is our town. It's here that we're born and bred. We've been through the rough times, been through the tough times, know about the good times ahead. We know how to do it your way. Build it up in your own hometown. Make it grow with the people you know. People who won't let you down. You know where you're going, and we wanna go with you. Wanna keep it growing, wanna keep it going, and we know where you're going. is the best way to start your day.
After being snubbed by the Knights and forced to move interstate to fulfill his dream of debuting in the NRL, Newcastle junior Zach Hosking wants a second chance to prove he can play top-grade footy in his hometown. But the 25-year-old back rower's hopes may already be dashed, with suggestions the Knights will struggle to find a place for him in their top 30 roster next season. Only a fortnight ago, Hosking, who was the Knights' New South Wales Cup Player of the Year last season, made his new NRL debut for the Broncos at Suncorp Stadium. It's been a hard one for Zach Hosking. A return back to the Newcastle Knights is of course on the good cards. And also the Knights struggled really hard last night. They went down in dramatic but controversial circumstances. And also, it was not good for the Knights' first grade side. With the Knights going down 42-12, with the Knights' first grade finals hopes over. But there was good news for Newcastle's Jersey Flag Cup side. They secured a huge win over the St George Dragons, with Newcastle's Jersey Flag Cup side still in the good finals run. Mayweather and to Hunter Rugby and Mayweather and the Wanderers will each benefit from the return of an unexpected fly half, but both coaches believe the auction will be enough to spur the players. The occasion will be enough to spur the players into action at Townsend Oval this afternoon. Both heavyweights are coming off losses. Mayweather were overrun 21-20 by Nelson Bay after the Greens had led 20-3 early in the second half, while the Wanderers suffered a heavy loss last week to the Shute Shield, and Andrew Talua was a tackle-busting hooker with a ton of potential when he left the Wanderers to try his luck in the Shute Shield 7 years ago. Meanwhile, today, the 31-year-old will finally represent his hometown in the Sydney competition when the Hunter Wildfires take on Randwick at the number 2 sports ground. To the women, and the NRLW player Georgia Page will be injected into the starting side, and number 8 Shane Povey has been given a new role as Hunter Wildfires coach. Joey De Dazzle shuffles the deck for their Crunch Jack Scott Cup clash with Gordon at the National Park number 5 today. Page, who was featured for the Knights in the NRLW this year and has played Super W with the Melbourne Rebels, has been a late but welcome addition to the Wildfires squad as they look to cement their place in the Sydney Women's Premier Rugby Union top 4. To ice hockey, and the Newcastle North Stars coach John Kennedy Jr. says this weekend's doubleheader in Canberra presents an opportunity seeds of double for the Brave ahead of this year's final series. The top of the table clash scheduled for Phillips Swimming and Ice Skating Centre for today and tomorrow shape as a battle for the Australian Ice Hockey League Minor Premiership. Tareel Hockey and Norths will field a virtually full strength squad when they face West on Sunday as the Newcastle clubs battle it out for the Stanbury Moan Cup. The undefeated Hunter Coast Premier Hockey League leaders are only missing Theo Grushka, who remains sidelined due to a groin injury. To local AFL, and Killarney Vale coach Corey Shackleton believes this side can gain a physiological advantage ahead of the upcoming finals to defeat Terrigal Avoca this afternoon. Before this season, the Bombers had not defeated the Panthers since 2010. And also, but in their undefeated run this year, they've not only managed to break their drought, but scored 2 wins over their Central Coast rivals. Meanwhile, in the other games, Warners Bay will host Maitland. And of course, the 5th place Bulldogs will likely need to win their their 4 remaining games. Meanwhile, Newcastle City are due to host Singleton, while Cardiff have the bye. Today, League and Jet striker Mecca Telstar is back and doing what he does best, scoring goals. He scored a couple in a typically wholehearted effort as the Jets stepped up preparations for the Australia Cup with a friendly against Newcastle Olympic behind closed doors on Wednesday night. To a rematch of Newcastle Rugby League, which was played, Central Newcastle defeated Curry 28 points to 12. What the match between Western Suburbs and Lakes United was postponed. In round 14 of the AFL Hunter Central Coast Black Diamond Cup women's competition, and Newcastle City have secured a win over Singleton. Meanwhile, Cardiff have secured a win over Wyon, and Killarney Vale have absolutely annihilated Terrigal Avoca. The C grade of the ladies' league tag, Newcastle and Hunter Rugby League, of course, made an incredible return. Cardiff secured a huge win over West Wallsend. Let's have a look at the weather. It was okay for Newcastle. It was partly cloudy with a 70% high chance of showers, and also it will be the same by tomorrow. It's 19 for Newcastle and Wallsend, while there is 18 for Toronto. Now for the Hunter. It will be okay for Newcastle. It will be partly cloudy for tomorrow, as well as it will be the chance of fog in the morning, mainly about the upper Hunter. There's a 40% medium chance of showers about the lower Hunter, most likely about the late morning and afternoon. Near 0 chance of rain elsewhere. However, Newcastle is 19, while Maitland, Singleton, Gosford and Scone have 18 degrees. Onto the waters, it will be right for Newcastle and the Hunter, so will the rest of them. The sun's getting up at around about nearly 10 minutes to 7 tomorrow morning, and is setting at almost 10 minutes past 5. The outlook for Newcastle, it'll be okay. And of course, there's a lot of sun and also a bit of wet weather. And also for Scone in the upper Hunter as well. but also looks like it's going to be really wet for Gosford and the Central Coast. And that's it from all the latest news from NBN for this Saturday. From all of us here for now, good night.